as you can see in Shakopee, just dropped my child off at Valley Fair. Valley Fair is a large amusement park in the state of Minnesota. They got something bigger in Chicago. I think they call it the Great Lake, or I can't remember what it's called. You know, down in Missouri they call it Branson, or you know, something in Branson. They got, you know, so like the real big amusement parks. The biggest one we got is Valley Fair. That's in Shakopee. Down here in Shakopee, Shakopee's not too far from Chanhassen, I believe, and that's where our great legendary Black American pioneer, rest in power to Prince. It's very flat, like out in Shakopee and Chanhassen, as you can see. So I just got to get back out here to 169. Now, what I'll tell y'all about 169 North and South, 169 North will bring you out here to New Hope. So once I get kind of close to where I want to go, then I'm gonna begin the story time. And this is Stagecoach Road on the right. Now, Stagecoach Road is that's where we race our horses. So if you got a horse out here, 9 times out of 10, you gonna go to Stagecoach Road. So another 150 feet, they said I gotta take east. Okay. So I got my watch. So I have not been out here to the horses. I'm thinking about bringing my son out there one day because he likes horses. So maybe it might be a little loud, but you know, maybe I'll bring him out and see how he does. Because it might be something that you might like. So 169 North is in the right lane. Okay, that's where I need to be. You got Ziegler out here. Off to the right, you see this is where all the tractors, the Ziegler Cat. So if you ever want to buy a tractor or a bulldozer, a couple $100 grand to a couple tickets, there you go. Get your agriculture on. Take a 169 North. One of my subscribers, shout out to him. I think that brother's in Texas. He's like, hey man, why are you always in the car? Well, you know, like now what I do, instead of just sitting in, you know, in the basement where I move all my equipment until I move, I like being in the elements, you know. What I do is I'll just jump behind here, and then that way I can kind of give y'all an idea of what Minneapolis looks like to a certain degree, and then you can kind of see some of the places that I've been, some of the places that I went to. So what we're gonna do today, there's a video, and I'm gonna add that video too, but there's a video where my homie went to 38th in Chicago, which they call it now George Floyd Square. I don't call it George Floyd Square, I call it 38. Nothing has changed. And the city's talking about putting up a mall or whatever, and what they should have is a Freedmen's Bank. In my opinion, they should have a Freedmen's Bank for foundationals. Everybody else got their own banks and their banking connections. They should have, because this happened to a Black American man. They should have, you know, they got all the art stuff or whatever. They should have a film studio for photography and film. As my homie said, it should be a Black Hollywood. It should be some kind of film company. It should be a foundational Black American Freedmen's Community Center. It should be it should be multiple soul food spots. We already got a couple restaurants already, but it should be some top-notch soul food spots. It should be Black police from the community. Not nobody that just showed up 5 minutes ago and we don't know their paperwork. It should be somebody that we kind of vetted and the community said, okay, this is a good brother here. He wants to make, he wants to, try to make a difference, whatever difference he'll be able to make on the force. But it should be a FUBU. It should be a forest by us. we'll get to that in a moment. Now, I was gonna try to stop by one of my people. He got an office out here, but he ain't hit me back yet. But you know, I want to talk about Shakopee a little bit. Shakopee, there's a few businesses out there. I'm probably gonna do a lay of the land and let y'all know in the detail, probably in the description, about Shakopee. It's a suburb of the west, or not the west, of the South Metro. So it's a suburb of Minneapolis. It is in Hennepin County, I believe. So it stretches out a little wide, but I think it's Hennepin County. It could be another county, but I believe it's Hennepin County. So Shakopee, I had an interview out here many time ago. It's too far for me coming from Ramsey County, unless somebody would have to cut me down 130,000 or so in order to come out here. But Shakopee, I had an interview years ago through a recruiting agency, and I remember, now right here, if you look, Bloomington Ferry Road, so we kind of getting into Bloomington. Shakopee's close to Bloomington. So Shakopee, I had an interview out here for I think a contract to hire, or it was a permanent job. And I don't know, I probably don't have the emails, otherwise I would kind of show y'all the exchange. But they was trying to get me out there for like 58 or something like that. This was around the time when I was kind of mid in my career. Like I might have been in my 20s, or it might have been 2010, 20, I don't know what it was. You know, around that time, they say the average black person was making 35, 40,000. The average black man was making only 40 grand in median, they said, in the state of Minnesota. So the average guy is gonna look at that and be like, man, let me get that. That's what they're gonna say. The average dude is gonna jump up for joy. And I think they wanted me at 58 or something like that. So I went out there, I had the interview. I didn't really get, I want to be on 494 East. Okay, let's bust 494 East. Now, right here, if you see Eden Prairie Center off to your right, they're saying. Eden Prairie is another suburb. They're starting to have a lot more of the Somali population out there, because it's a bunch in the state of Minnesota. So they kind of doing a little bit of setting up shop up there out there too. Eden Prairie, that was always looked at as a place where a whole bunch of money. But let's get back to the interview real quick, and then we'll kind of cut over anything you might see. Still on 494 East. 494 East will bring you all the way to Egan or St. Paul, or wherever. So now, Shakopee, that interview, when I had the interview, the guy was basically, I could kind of tell he was one of them guys. It wasn't not much of a forward thinking company. It was one of them kind of things you just do your thing, and then you just do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Until you find something else that you think you want to, because the rate for it was like a sysadmin. It was a whole bunch of stuff that they want you to do, and they ain't really trying to pay like that. I'm gonna keep it 100. They wasn't really trying to give you no money, but yet they want you to do all this here. They want you to do a whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that. They want you to do a whole lot. And for me, I wasn't too keen on, I'm not gonna be learning much new technology. So for me, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. Now, as you can see, now here I would have got a better deal. Now we're going into Bloomington, okay? Normandale Boulevard. They're still doing a lot of construction. Bloomington, Edina. This is where all the big money's at in the south suburbs. Out when you start looking at things outside of like Eden Prairie, there's some corporations and stuff like that, but there's a lot of money being flowed around here. Edina, Bloomington, that's a lot of jobs. But if you don't want to get wrapped up in what you're dealing with right now, this traffic right here is terrible. Man, it's 10 o'clock. We ain't even in rush hour. And it's 10 o'clock because they're doing a lot of construction and it's always bad. You could see the Pearson headquarters. I want all my black IT people or upcoming folks, look that up. Pearson headquarters is up here. That is an academic, I never got an interview out of there, but I had the brother I told y'all that I just told y'all where them lames try to get him in the Uber. He was doing a contract out there. I can't remember if I sent him the contract or not, but he was doing a contract out there. You got the DoubleTree to the left. You got Sheraton to the left. You got a couple dollars out there. There's a lot of hotels because there's a lot of conferences and things of that nature. Off into the front, or off into the upper left, is that Best Buy? Best Buy's in Richfield, so no. You got the La Quinta Hotel over here. Lot of stuff going on, man. Lot going on over here. So y'all will see it and I'll call them out. But yeah, I'm on this interview with this dude. And it was a pretty simple interview, but I could just tell it's one of those little, I don't know, one of them little small company redneck environments where, once I get there, I didn't feel like I was gonna get the bread that. So the agency, I told the agency, I said, look, I kind of did a little bit of analysis. I said, now here's another company off to the left. You can't really see it. OATI. Write that down. OATI. They do a lot of federal contracts and government contracts. A lot of big money in there. OATI. Google that. Mercedes-Benz, you see that's over here. I ain't even got to talk about that. You already know what they do. I'm just giving y'all a lay of the land. Luther, Bloomington, Hyundai. I don't mess with Hyundais. Got the Olive Garden. Go get your bread and your unlimited salad. We do that. You got Bell Bank coming up. That's who I do my mortgage from. The Hilton. You know what I'm saying? You got Denny's. This is probably one of the best Denny's in the Twin Cities. France Avenue got the best Perkins if it's still around. France Avenue Perkins, that's the best Perkins. I wouldn't mess with too many others. They got an excellent Perkins. Okay, so as you see, they're doing a lot of construction out here. A lot. So I'm trying to go back and forth. Hey man, let me see if I get 63 or something like, at this time, like I said, I was a young guy. Let me get 63. They don't want to pay me. Got AT&T off to the right. See, I'm trying to get on 35, y'all, so I can show you that. Wells Fargo. Y'all seen what I said about that. I think we're coming up on Best Buy here. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna try to jump on. I could get off on Penn and just kind of bring y'all through the city. I may not do that right now. I think I'm gonna just pull down on 35 so we can get on 38 for Chicago. Cause I got something to say. Now there's Best Buy off to your left. I sent a couple brothers out there. Actually, when I was doing my tech training, when I was at Century, I got a gang of people jobs out there at Best Buy. Matter of fact, one of the, and you'll see a picture, but it was this sister that got over there. She became the lead real fast. I got her a job right when I was taking cybersecurity courses. I was still getting folks jobs. Y'all got to keep in mind, even when I was in college, I was getting niggas jobs. And I really didn't understand my calling. When I was in college, I was getting folks jobs. Oh, this is, okay, I was supposed to go right here. Uh-oh. Yeah, see? Not paying attention. 35, there go the BMW. Oh, I ain't lying to y'all, man. It's some big money out here. It's some big money. So, yeah, I was getting folks jobs out there at Best Buy. My guy with the Uber situation, he was out of Best Buy, I think, twice. The first time I got them out there through this company, I think it was Genesis 10 or something. But here we on 35 now. So you remember when I worked out in Burnsville, I used to take 35 a lot. I had some cool little times. I ain't gonna lie. I made some good money out here in the South Metro, you know, over time. I'm not gonna lie. I had some cool little times. Especially when I was out there at TCS in Bloomington. And look, I gotta come out to Bloomington again. So I'm gonna give y'all that TCS story on my way back. I gotta go out there. So you remember, every time I do a story, every time I go somewhere, especially if I, you know, did some business out there, I got a story or whatever the case may be, I'm gonna take y'all through my story. Diamond Lake Road, that brings back a lot of memories. I'm wondering, should I get off on Diamond Lake Road? This is 66. I wonder if I should get off on 66 for y'all. Let's do it. Let's get off on 66. Walk y'all down. Kind of walk y'all down a little bit. 66 is very rich history for me because off to Richfield, off to the left, I think it is. Let me see. Man, they done changed it, man. I should wheel y'all around. Matter of fact, I'm about to do it. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna wheel y'all around, man. Because this 35W right here, 35W, 35 South, I've taken this on West 66 many a moon. I used to take it when I was kind of going out and about. I spent a lot of time out in Edina and stuff. So, I mean, this right, if you live over here, this to me is a very, 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 very good exit and entrance. You know what I mean? Into the city. Now, I think, let me see, because which way did I go? Because we're going to wheel around again. I'm going to turn around again. I'm just trying to just give y'all a little, they driving a little slow. People got a couple dollars over here. You know, as you can see, the houses are decent. Richfield has changed. I'm just gonna be honest. It has changed. You know, over time. How far do I want to go here? I think the Best Buy is on 66 as well. Or it's close. I'll turn around. We'll do it again another time. But now West 66 is decent. But no, we just gonna go through the city now. So I guess turn around. I want to go a little further, but what I'm gonna do. So let me tell you a story while we keep going. Then I'll jump back into the city. So look, what I do, I tell the recruiter, back to Shakopee, I tell the recruiter, hey, try to get me at 63,000, and they didn't want to budge. I said if they want me, and maybe I don't know if they don't like the way I said it, but you know I just told them like you know if they want me, you know they could just give me a little more. Now this is the recruiting agency that I'm now. Sometimes y'all will go through staffing agencies and they might have what they call contract to hire, or they'll have permanent jobs. Y'all have heard it many times, and they will, man, they will. They got the Pizza Luce here. Yeah, they changed it a lot. You know what they'll do? They'll go back to the recruiting agency and they'll holler at them. Now, I want y'all to know there was no roundabout like this before. Not to my knowledge. I think they changed this up. That's how I know, you know, I was kind of detached from the city working remote. They got a My Burger out here. I don't think that was there before, but it looks really nice. They look like they built up a bunch of different apartments. I don't recall this. Now, I'm going to really take y'all down memory lane in a minute. They got Firehouse Sub. I don't remember that. LA Fitness. I think they always had that. Popeyes. Okay, Michael's. Okay, now look. The pinnacle of my career. Now, this used to be a rainbow off to the left. The pinnacle of my career. A lot of it started here. So we going to cut through here. Not the pinnacle of my career, but there was a lot of hustling over here. I had my first accident when I opened up the store. Remember those old Adventures of DP? This might have to go under the Adventures of DP banner. So I'm about to take you through all this. So there was the Marshalls. Remember I told y'all want to go get fresh. The Dollar Trees over here, Michael's, the Burger King. Right in this parking lot right here, we almost got into it with this dude from New Orleans. There used to be, if he hurries up, I don't know what the hell he's doing. There used to be, now this Walgreens always been here. Now, over here is where I told you that Chicago chick where her uncle with the flim flam, she kind of stayed around this area. So sometimes I used to kind of bring her up here. But the uncle with the flim flam that was trying to get me to do the cybersecurity, I don't know what the hell she's doing. These foreigners can't drive for nothing. But there used to be right here, this is where we used to post up right here. We used to post up all day and sell CDs, mixtapes. It wasn't Rainbow, it was a little hair place. And right there where the GameStop was, or somewhere, one of these, you had, and so look, the security guard, there used to be this black security guard. He used to let us hustle. And then when there was another security guard, we would just go inside. And then he'd come back out the other side. So they would let us hustle. And there was a Foot Locker. That's what I was trying to get at. There was a Foot Locker down there. So we stand there all day. And then what we do is we hop on the bus back to the south side, because we're still over south, but this Richfield. We would hop on the bus back to the south side. Now, this is the story I told y'all where I crashed my car over here. This lady did some super illegal shit. So I crashed my car. Kind of close over here. I'm gonna try to bring y'all back out to where we could go. So, right, you see what they just did? Right there, you see what they just pulled? I don't know if you could do that or not, but maybe you can. But that's what happened. Right this intersection right here. I'm gonna pull around and show y'all again. We're gonna go around a roundabout. I'm gonna go around a roundabout. They didn't have this roundabout. Now that's Nicollet. I'm gonna do another story up there on 90th and Nicollet. I'll tell you about some stuff that happened there. But I used to go to this Dairy Queen. I used to go to this Subway. We be hustling. Right here is where I got into the car accident. Matter of fact, right here is where I got crashed up. It was kind of around there. It was kind of around here, because I remember. So, you see this off to the left right here? That's where the lady hit me right here. And then I had to pull over off to the right. And then I pulled into that Walgreens ordeal. I pulled into the Walgreens parking lot. And that's when the police came and they found the weed in the car. A big ass bag. And he asked me, was I smoking it? And I said, no, I smoked that yesterday. Because I wasn't smoking in the car. I was on the way to open up my shop. I'm telling you, I was on the way to open up my store. So that's that old, I'm bringing y'all back to that old story I had when I was getting ready to open up my store with my homies at Mini High One Stop Shop. So we gonna go down Nicollet right here. There's so much history in Nicollet, man, it's crazy. I'm gonna bring y'all all around. I'm supposed to be talking about Shakopee. No, we gonna talk about the city. So, all in all, I guess the recruiter came back and said, well, I don't want, I guess they didn't want to pay or whatever. They could have gave me the damn money, but they just didn't want to give it to me. And I said no, I didn't take it. As you can see, there's a sign that says Minneapolis. So now you're in Minneapolis. There's a Bobby's and Steve's here. I haven't been around here in so long. I've been to this bar right here a couple times with my homie when he used to stay. Now this is where I told y'all where they got like a little mini, want a mini project, so to say. This cup food used to be popping. You can find you a little thick chocolate thing around here, for sure. I'm gonna take y'all back into the neighborhood, into the little, you know, apartments. I call them projects. They're not really projects. But now I believe it's on 59th, where there's a car wash. Let me see. Oh no, I gotta keep going. Yeah, you can't get through there like that. The car wash blocks it off. So dude was kind of wondering, kind of thinking like, hey, what's up with this guy? Is that on 59? Oh, you gotta go in there. Okay, I'll go in that way. I'll go through 58. Let me see if I can get through 58 and do it. It's kind of a weird street. It's kind of a weird street, man. Let me see how far it can bring me back. Damn, it's a damn do not enter. Shit. Fuck. You know what I mean? Now, people got a couple bucks around here too. People got a couple dollars around here too. Just a little bit. They got a little something. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are like the little dead end streets, and those are the one way in the dead ends like this. That's the places you want to live in Minneapolis, man. Oh, we got a green light. Yeah, I used to come over here. I used to come over here a lot. Now, this Bobby's and Steve's, I don't think they made so much as the grilled stuff. I think they did, but I don't think they made so much as the grilled stuff as much. I've always kind of liked this little area, this little ducked off area for some reason. Damn, I done missed it again. I'm telling you, you gotta, let's see. I'll pull into here and do it this way. Missed it again. I'm telling you, it's a weird little street. Here we go. Nope. All right, city limits. Took me forever to do that. Y'all kind of like, okay, this dude, man. Let me tell y'all something here. Now, that was the one where I told y'all I met the chick from St. Louis, but this is the one. This is the little area. That was the house right there. I think it was 101, where this little chick used to. This little chick, where I felt kind of almost backdoored a little bit. I don't know. Or it was just too many. It was too many Negroes standing outside for me. Now you see a bunch of Mexicans over here, and it's right by Cup Food. So if you stay over here, you know, you kind of good. They done put a playground over here. You know what I'm saying? But it used to be turned. When I used to go over there, yeah. See, I see the dynamic now. I see a lot of Latin people around here. They sitting there with their kids. You know. If I was in Minneapolis and I didn't want to pay an arm and a leg downtown, and I didn't mind being out this way, and I wasn't really tripping on my car. I mean, they do got little parking spots. This ain't too bad. There's another little Spanish chick right there. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, it used to be a lot of black folks. Now I don't know. I can't remember if it was Section 8. I think it was. But let me tell you. It used to be a couple. You used to be able to pull something over here. I ain't gonna lie. You used to be able to pull something over here. All right, we're going down Nicollet, y'all. So yeah, the recruiter didn't want to do me solid. The recruiter didn't want to do me solid, man, at all. I'm gonna have to go get a t-shirt, man. I can't wear this. Cause it's too hot. I'm gonna have to find me a little, you know what I'm saying, a little spot, and then just get me a t-shirt. And I think I know where I'm gonna go. Yeah, this area, they got a nice little shops. It reminds you of kind of Edina over here, Thai pepper. I never messed with that. I may have to check that out. Things have changed. This is a new. Well, let's see here. What do we got? They got a dispensary up here now. Diamond Lake Road. I used to take Diamond Lake Road when I be moving around a lot of times. Yeah, this new apartment building, this wasn't here before. So I think we'll just go down Nicollet, and I'll tell you all about Nicollet. And you know, I used to hop on the 18, is still alive and well. So yeah, I guess they ain't supposed to be parked there. All right, 54th, the gas station right here. I don't mind going to this gas station at night. It's a decent little area. They got a couple little food spots. They got one food spot called Wise Acre, Tangletown Gardens. Now this is Minnehaha Nicollet. Now if you were to take a right on this Minnehaha, very beautiful houses. You go over this bridge, there's a couple dollars over there. There's some beautiful houses over here in the 50s. We call this the 50s. Beautiful houses. You're gonna need a half a ticket or above, even for the ones you seeing right while I'm passing by. You looking like, man, this is in the city. Man, listen. These houses right here in the 50s, and you still in South, you over South. Somebody selling that house, that ain't gonna last. Yeah, you ain't gonna get nothing for 300 right here. You ain't getting nothing for 300. Nothing. We're on 50th and Nicollet. Now, that's Washburn. No, that's Justin Page Middle School. Okay, Washburn is over here. I think Washburn's over here. We used to think people from Washburn had money. I don't know why, but that's what we used to think. But this area, this neighborhood is nice. It's a real nice neighborhood. As far as I'm concerned, 48th. Not too much going on here. A lot of brick buildings and stuff. Like they bringing the kids somewhere. So now we're on 46th. I used to get food over on 46 sometimes, like years ago. There's another Bobby and Steve's or whatever it is, the Lube Express place. I don't really go over there too much. Sun Street Breads. There's a lot of little coffee shops and stuff like that. And you see people is killing. That's why I was telling y'all, don't never believe. They tell you, yeah, people ain't spending money. Man, folks spending money, man. If you out and about and you see people, because remember, I used to spend a lot of my time Roadrunner Records, Revival Smoked Meats. They got smoked meats in there. I'm gonna check that out. There's a lot of little small, man, the small mom and pop places is where you want to be. That's where you want to be. It's another little bar. Okay, so I'm just trying to get down. I want to end this. I haven't been, like I said, I ain't been down here too, you know, I don't come down that often. And see, that's one thing that's a problem with working remote. Working remote, man, that's one thing. That this is a new building off to the left. That's a new building. They got all these new apartment buildings. So if there ain't no money, then where's the apartment buildings? Now 42nd. I'm gonna want to give you all the history of 42nd. That house on the left used to be owned by this Dr. Martin Luther King Park. They have a lot of stuff for the kids. But that house off to the left, I think, on 42nd, man, that's where I recorded all my music until Minnehaha Recording Studio moved. Before Tony did the Minnehaha Recording Studio on Minnehaha, that's where I recorded all my records. Okay, now we in the city now. But that's Dr. Martin Luther King Park. They bringing in some Elwood Automotive. Elwood does pretty good. I've heard good things about Elwood. See, they got the big boy they bringing in. They get that Cadillac together. intercultural family, you know. All right, so now we get to kind of move around the city. So I'm gonna bring y'all on some of the blocks, but before we do, we gonna hit 38th. This is 38th and Nicollet. I had a shop right here on the corner with my homies. Off to the left, it used to be this Asian store that was real good. This TNT barbershop. He used to make sure I got a lot of money out here. There was a black-owned dentist, I think, right here. So we gonna go into that. Hopefully, if these people go ahead and go, and then I'm gonna come back up Nicollet and then come down. I might do that. Stevens Avenue. Stevens has had its history. When you go off to the left, it's done had its history. I'll tell you that. This block, I spent a lot of time on 2nd on this block. This is Sabathany right here. Do a lot of community work. This is the Seward grocery or whatever. Seward Co-op. Great food. Great veggies. This is 4th Avenue. We knew this one dude from New York that had a shop right there. All right. .38th in Portland. Now tacos, Elvin. Most, you know, you're not gonna get a lot of hit or miss Mexican spots. When you want some Mexican food, man, and them burritos gonna be good. I'm not even gonna cap to you. You could go. There's a ton of places you can go over south. They literally got about 40 restaurants. But tacos, El Kelvin Mexican restaurant. I heard that. I'm trying to remember what I heard about it. I'm not sure at all. But we on Park at 38th. I might go down Park at 38th to get back down to Lake Street, or I might just cut through. Here to get to Lake. I'm thinking about it. I personally don't think I spend enough time over south as much as I should. We are on 38th in Chicago. As you can see, not much has changed. Black Lives Matter. Justice for Dante Wright. All-American breakfast coming soon. You can't drive through. They got the red, black, and green flag. Protect young black men. I'm just gonna cut through again. This is 38th in Chicago. That's why I said it should be a Freedmen's Bank. This should be a $70 million thing right now. Cup Foods is still here, as you can see. They got a garden. Black Lives Matter. I guess they moved it, because you couldn't even get through at one point. So they got the Fine Arts Center. Our good brother here, Just Turkey and Smoke in the Pit, that was not given the money that he should have got. Excellent food. Make sure y'all check them out. Laundromat, Just Turkey, they got some good food up in there. Auto Body Shop. More George Floyd, more Black Lives Matter. Another red, black, and green flag. No major black businesses for the foundational freedmen of America that built this country. No, sir. There you go. I'm being fucking honest, y'all. I'm being honest. Giacchino's, they had some pretty good pizza back in the day. I don't know if it's still good, but we're on 36 in Chicago right now. I'm being honest. And I think the true activists that understand, they probably feel a certain way. The real deal Holyfields, not the folks that's just taking pictures. You see, I didn't hop out taking pictures talking about blah, 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 clout this or clout that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. You know, and I won't. As you can see, the community, it still suffers. You know? It still suffers. That Tony's Market, that's been a staple. I mean, it's, you know, I'm a bust down. Looks like they bringing some kids somewhere. It's probably the YMCA. South Minneapolis is still an amazing place, y'all. I don't want y'all to get me wrong. You got folks still trying. You got, you know, but let's not. Let's be clear. See, that's what a lot of the sisters is riding. They riding them Ford Sentinels, them Durangos. Durangos are pretty good. So I'm going down. What am I on? 36 now. I was gonna try to jump on Clinton. I think. Let me see if I could do it. I'm gonna see if I could do it. I might be in a little later today. I'm going down in memory lane. I'm gonna pause it. All right. Past Park. Spent a lot of time going up Park and coming down Portland and all that. A lot of time, cause I used to be moving around. Once I got my license, y'all, it was over with. It was over. I'm moving. I'm out. I'm out and about. As much as I can be. Central Green. I remember the first time I was playing basketball and we came to Central Green, and that was the first time I got to go to a school where I could see so many black kids. And I was like, man, they had an arcade and everything. And I was kind of like, man, why the hell am I going to Ann Sullivan? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I going here? Okay, hold on, wait a minute. That's Stevens. Where the hell's Clinton at? I gotta go up the block to get to it? Okay. It's been a while, y'all. It's been a minute. It's 35 right here. I ain't gonna go down there. I'm just gonna. But second, okay. I think it's off another block. They put the speed bump up. They put the speed bump up. They need more of these around Minneapolis. So 33rd, another speed bump. We'll go down Lake Street. I want to show y'all, man, where they were acting a fool with ICE when they were trying to do a fentanyl bust and got 900 pounds out that joint. And that's why I asked the question, when have you ever seen a black person where federal agents come to lock you up and we don't get killed if we try to stop a federal agent or a federal raid? When does that happen? Okay, this should be the old block, y'all. Should I go down a little more? Okay. So we're on Clinton now. I spent a lot of time on Clinton. I want to open up this map and get rid of it. So this is 33rd and Clinton. Okay. Now, I'm going to come back in a minute, but this is the block right here that I spent close to maybe a decade of, well, not a decade, but you know, I spent a lot of time. Now I don't remember these speed bumps being over here like that. Okay, let me fix this, man, because I don't need it. Let me end the route. All right. But I spent a lot of time over here. I mean, a whole lot. And it's kind of hard to turn around. You see, like that, you can't really get through the alleys and stuff like that. But this is 34th and Clinton, and Central Green wraps around. This is kind of a coveted area for people to a certain degree, because it's kind of close to, like, if you just want to stay, if you just want to be in the neighborhood and you don't want to leave, but it's still gonna hit you. So, you know, there's schools, and so now we're on 4th. We used to go and get gyros up here all the time. These little houses off to the left. These little houses off to the left. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hop out for a little bit. For a second. So it used to be these houses off to the left, and then this store, I don't know, Sunshine Foods. This is a place, and a lot of times dudes really couldn't come through here like that. Like, when it would be situations, man, in the city where it was, you know, it was a lot of gang stuff. So people couldn't really come through there like that, man. You couldn't come through Sunshine Foods really like that. You know, if you were with the, you know, if you were with the other team, you couldn't even really come in this neighborhood unless you coming to clear something out and leave. But, you know, like, I didn't really have too many. I was over here hustling. You know what I'm saying? I was making money, and, you know, my homie was making money, and, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we used to do. But, you know, I'm surprised nothing did happen to us, because we used to have different color shirts on, and I ain't gonna lie, we had different color shirts on, you know. So, but this they spent a lot of time in this area trying to get this area together and stuff like that and whatnot. So, you know, things have changed. Things have changed. Now, this is it should still be there, but, you know, it's Urban Ventures. Let me see if it's still there. My City View Church. Okay, well, maybe they changed it up a little bit, but they used to have both sides of this. I did my first internship here. That's why I always say, and they call this Casa de Orion, Minnesota. Okay, so that's owned by Mexicans. Here's the Urban Ventures Youth Hub. They do a lot of work in the community, a whole lot of work. My first internship was, and you can't really see it right here, so I'm gonna take y'all down. Wells Fargo is up here. Remember when I was doing my thing during the pandemic, they wanted me to come in, and maybe I could have, but they wanted me to come in several days a week on hybrid, and around that time I was kind of like, nah. So I kind of stayed remote as long as I could. So all right, as soon as they cross the street, I'm gonna bust down over here. Now it looks remotely different. Like, they didn't have all this red only parking spots. They got a bunch of Spanish spots right here. I mean, left and right. All those zones still there. They got a plasma center, so that's why it be kind of cracking over there. But this is where I used to come get my burritos. La Hacienda. They got some good ass burritos. I ain't gonna lie, they're big giant burritos. This is the Colin Powell School. My first internship was off here to the right. So I attribute a lot of my success, you know, to here, to a certain degree, you know what I mean? Down here, they got the field, Urban Ventures Field, they own that. Damn, fuck. Oh, I went through that too fast. I didn't know that bump was there. I used to park my car underground parking right there, you know what I'm saying? So I remember. You could take a bike all the way through the city almost this way. So we're gonna take a left, go down here. They got a lot going on here. Oh, they got a farm down here. So they got a Urban Ventures farm. So that's something that they, you know, that they've been doing. So There's another little soccer field and stuff. So they own a lot of that down here, and this all brings you into Wells Fargo. All right. So now we're gonna take the one way of 28, another historic block that I spent a lot of time in. If you look dead ahead, you got downtown, which I'm gonna be in a minute. So I gotta go find somewhere, man, that got a shirt, so I ain't gotta wear this hot ass shirt, this t-shirt. I mean, I could wear it, I guess. I don't know, I guess it don't matter, but I guess I like to be presentable. So I might slide through here and see if they sell some t-shirts. But we'll take the one way. As you can see, we're coming up on Portland. Yeah, when I start driving, y'all, I start driving around 07 or something like that. Like, you know, I went too long without a license, but when I got my license, man, I got to it. I really got to it. I started making it happen, man. Yeah, they didn't want to give me that money. And so I don't even remember what year that was in Shakopee, but I didn't really, you know, I just didn't really want to mess with it no more. This Park Avenue, historic block, one way. Yeah, I didn't really want to mess with them no more. And they didn't send me out for another project. They had the offer right in their hands. They should have went back and negotiated. But they just did not want to give me the money. And, you know, I learned that at that time, like, sometimes, man, that word no. You know, now I could have took that job, but I ended up doing something else. This was a time, I want y'all to understand, this was a time where you could leave an IT job and you could pretty much get right back to it. I mean, you literally, man, it was picking and choosing. It was picking and choosing, man. And I think in my mind, when I was young, oh, so it's him holding up traffic. We're over here by the Children's Hospital and stuff like that. They're doing a major amount of construction down here. Wow, this looks crazy. I didn't even know this was going on. They really tearing it up. So we're by Line of Health. So, and Abbott Hospital too. So here's the thing. In my mind, you know, during that time, you know, there was really no AI. There was no, I mean, you know, you could, at that time, you could kind of pick and choose a lot easier. You'd be getting emails every day. Recruiters, left and right. I mean, you could always get some money. So I looked at the IT field as a young black man as like my little personal gold mine. So I knew there was never a time that I wasn't going to not have a job, and there never really was. It was very, very seldom that I was in a situation where I really couldn't, you know, get nothing going. Very, very seldom. Now, as you get over here into this neighborhood, as you can see, it's getting jankier. Ain't really nothing going on, man. Ain't really no businesses over here like that. You know, we're getting closer to the native projects. See, the Riverside ain't too far off. I mean, ain't nothing going on. Bloomington is over here. They probably still got it blocked off. Like, there's really nothing going on, man. There's really no money being, you know, I mean, it's not much happening. You know, then it starts to get just a little bit nicer when you cross Hiawatha, but I mean, it's always kind of looked like this. As you can see, you know, when we get over here, as opposed to being in Richfield, now we on Cedar. I'm gonna need to come down here in a minute, but I'm about to see if I get a t-shirt. I'm about to see if I get a t-shirt real quick. If I can't get a t-shirt, because I decided to just go ahead and stay over south. I was just gonna drop myself back off to Ramsey County, but then take one bus and then hop on that janky ass train. I said, man, hell no. I'm about to just park over south, and then I can just hop on one train and just take, you know, I'm only gonna be on the train for 2 seconds, as opposed to having to take it all the way from the depot in downtown St. Paul. And I got to deal with those idiots. You know what I'm saying? Downtown St. Paul, to be quite honest, is it's even worse than over south. Minneapolis, they're gonna put a little more money behind it. So let me see, they got Burlington, 7 Mile, Beauty and Supply. That's what we gonna do. We gonna do 7 Mile, Beauty and Supply. Yeah, that's what we gonna do. I'm just gonna get me a black t-shirt. That's what I'm gonna do. See y'all in a minute. Yeah, sometimes you gotta come in here and get you an all black t-shirt, man. Get yourself together. Yeah, hey, look. These used to be $5. These all black t-shirts used to be $5, $6. Man, them joints $12. You gotta have money. You for sure. You gotta have a couple dollars out here, man. You for real. You really gotta have a couple dollars out here. And it's a bike lane right here. That dude sleep. Yeah, some folks get sleeping outside, man. They get is, you know. They get sleeping outside. If they ain't got it, man, they ain't got it. So, yeah, I'm just gonna, I started looking like, damn, do I want to should I just wear this little t-shirt with some crumbs on it? I started wondering. Yeah, I'll probably get to work close to noon or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I didn't really spend no additional time really like that. Not really. Not too much. But real talk, I almost started thinking, but since I don't like walking in nobody's business, and but I was like, shit, I might just keep this. Just wear my little, you know what I'm saying, just blend in with the train folks. But you know, like, I'm probably gonna have to, yeah, I should have did just what he did, so I ain't gotta wait. So I'm still gonna be waiting. Here go the train, so I need to be on that next train downtown. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and park, man. Ain't no sense in me going all the way back to Ramsey County and stuff. I mean, I didn't really all I did is just drive through the streets. I just took like a 30 to 45 minute detour, and I just stopped at different places and stuff like that. So I'm about to start doing little food reviews and stuff too. I know y'all might want to see some good vittles. I think one of my first food reviews is gonna be Smoking the Pit. I think I'm about to start doing food reviews. Everybody else eating in their damn car, getting that YouTube bag. Might as well. Not much to see here. I'm gonna pause it. As we waiting for this slow light, I might as well just go ahead and so another piece of the shakopee story. Of course, it turned out to be something different because I took y'all through the city. But the shakopee story is, I knew somebody that stayed out there, and it was this little light-skinned chick that I used to see, and you know, I kind of over the years, especially like you know, even before I was driving, I remember like I met her and we was hanging out. She always stayed in Apple Valley. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing about, she always stayed out in the suburbs. She ain't never really catch no place in the city really like that. She stayed out in the burbs, and I'm you know, I guess that was just her thing or whatever. But we would kind of be on and off, you know, and stuff like that. But like, I went out to her apartment one time, or not her apartment, but she always kept a nice little townhome. And she you know, I went out there. Now, I used to be out in Apple Valley. Sometimes she picked me up, or what I would do is, you know, I will be out there working at that nonprofit I told y'all about. And she, you know, she had this Cadillac. I should have bought it from her. But before I bought my first car, she tried to sell me her Cadillac. I should have bought it. But it needed a little bit of work. But it was clean. I don't know why I didn't buy that Cadillac. I think because of I was scared of the premium gas. I think I didn't want to pay for the premium gas. So that's probably what it was. That's probably what it was. So, you know, we were kind of on and off over the years and whatnot. And she just kind of, you know, I think over time, man, she just kind of fell off real bad. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that wasn't no longer my responsibility. So, you know, that's another story. So I'm back, getting ready to get on the train, y'all. I'm gonna upload this in a minute. I don't think you need any other ones, but you see, 7 Mile, this used to be like $5 or something crazy. I don't know, it used to be much cheaper. It used to be much cheaper. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it on, take off this shirt and put this joint on, and y'all will see me on the Freedman series in a minute. And I might make one more video after I upload this joint, because I like to edit them and throw them right up. So I might make one more video after this, but I'm gonna splice this one together, and y'all gonna see my other video. Shout out to my Texas subscriber, that brother. Yeah, when I'm moving around, I try to do these videos and I try to do different stories. So I'll hit y'all in a minute. Change, you know, they making people check in their book bag at this holiday now. So that's how I know things have really went left. You know what I'm saying? So here's what it is. See what they're doing over here.